Hey everybody, this is Mark and welcome to the Gun Guy channel. Today we are talking about a real shooter from Argentina. No, I don't mean Messi, I mean the Bersa TPR9c. We're going to take a look at this gun right after this. So if you've been enjoying our videos, learning anything, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That way when we release our videos, you get to see them right away and you get to give us your feedback. And in regard to the feedback, please let us know what you think in the comments. If it's good, bad, or indifferent, it really doesn't matter, but we do want to know what you think. And speaking of good, bad, and indifferent, that kind of brings us to today's gun, which is the TPR9c. So I was super excited to get my hands on this gun. I had never seen it before. I saw it for the first time at the NRA annual convention, and it had all the bells and whistles that I really like in a gun. I didn't know Bersa made this. Honestly, I only knew about the Bersa Thunder 380. I have one of those. I really like that gun. But I did not know about this one or its predecessor, which was the Thunder Pro 9, which seems to be an homage, if you will, to the Walther P88. And this gun, as a curious side note, is the TPR9, which is the Thunder Pro Revised 9. So kind of clever little use of lettering there. Anyhow, very excited. It has everything that I like. It's a metal gun, decocker, safety, 9mm, decent capacity, and I've got to say, I have not been this disappointed with something since prom night. But before we get into that, the gun, not my prom night, let's take a quick look at the history of Bersa, because honestly, it's something that I wasn't familiar with, so I kind of want to know about it. So did a little research, and online it was sort of confusing. There were different versions of the history, but I think we pretty much got it right. If you think that we got something wrong when we're going over the history, please let us know in the comments as well. Bersa was basically established back in 1958 in Argentina, near Buenos Aires, by three Italian engineers, Banco Bandaman, Savino Caselli, and Ercole Montini. I probably destroyed their names, I realize that. So apparently these three Italians immigrated to Argentina post-World War II. Montini is said to have worked for Beretta prior to moving to South America, although the first clones were really more akin to Walther than Beretta, but I'm just saying.
He's wearing a German helmet.
Don't say anything to offend him.
They were all mechanical engineers with a history of firearm design and production, so they decided to work together, and what they created was the company called Bersa. And not only did they combine their skills, but they also took the letters of their names, and that's how they came up with Bersa. So they took the B from Banco, the ER from Ercole, and the SA from Savino, and there you have it, Bersa. Now, in the early years, Bersa basically focused on producing parts for other Argentinian arms manufacturers. The one that they were specifically working with was Ballester Molina, and they were known for their self-titled Ballester Molina clone of a Sistema Colt Model 1927, or the Modelo 1927. I probably should go Modelo 1927. Sounds a little better that way. However, Bersa had their first significant breakthrough when they released their own first gun, the Model 60, in 1959. And this was a .22 long rifle pistol, and it was based on a modified Beretta design. So a little nod to their Italian firearm heritage. So the German jokes can get put to the side now. This model and its successor, the Model 62, reportedly sold really, really well and helped establish Bersa in the firearms market. The company gradually expanded its product line in the coming years, and in 1989, Bersa made their first popular full-size pistol, which was the Model 90. Now, the Model 90 and its evolution, which is the Bersa Thunder 9, and that came out around 1994, would actually become the standard issue for the Argentinian Armed Forces and Argentinian Federal Police, replacing the Sistema Colt Model 1927. Of particular note in the guns that they made was the Bersa Thunder 380, which is basically a Walther PPK clone. It became hugely popular. They also came out with the guns that we're looking at today, which are the TPRs, the Thunder Pro Revised. And these were also the standard issue for the Argentinian Police and Armed Forces. Now that we know a little bit about the history of Bersa, let's take a look at what Bersa sent me in the box. All right, so let's take a look at what we got in the box from Bersa. We get this beautiful blue plastic case with paperwork. The Youth Handgun Safety Act notice. And honestly, I haven't ever seen this. I think this is kind of classy on their part. It's a mental health. It's okay to talk about it. And I think that that's a really nice gesture on Bersa's part to let people know that they care about mental health. And then you also have the manual, which describes how to clean the gun, how to use the gun, and it also contains the warranty, which is kind of useless. We'll get into that in a little bit too. You get a chamber indicator, an extra magazine. It holds 13. And then there is the gun itself, plus an extra mag. We'll check this gun real quick. It is clear and empty. Boom. So away we go. Now let's take this away. All right, so let's take a look at the gun itself. Let's go through some of the statistics first. So this version is the 9mm version, thus the 9. They also make a 45 and a 380 in the TPR. The gun itself has a double single action. And I really, really like that. I think that double singles, I feel very comfortable carrying them because it's almost like carrying a revolver for me. This also happens to have a safety, but we'll go through it. So basically, the double action is it cocks and releases the trigger, and the single action is it releases the trigger. The nice part about this on this particular gun is that you have second strike capabilities if you have a light strike and the bullet does not discharge, or the gun doesn't discharge, which happened a lot, and you'll see that in the range footage. So it came in handy quite a bit. This also has a decocker, which is a really, really nice feature. This gun kind of reminds me of a budget version of a CZ75 Rami, which is a gun I love. They don't make it anymore. I do have one. I will keep that gun forever and ever, but this kind of reminds me of that type of gun with the decocker. And the way that the decocker works is if when you rack it, right, the hammer goes back. So you can simply decock the gun and keep it on safe. So you could carry it like this, and this is an incredibly safe way to do that. Or if you prefer, you can actually take the safety off, and then you will still have a double action, a really long double action. Now the double action on this gun is really pretty smooth. It's heavy, but it is smooth. It's a lot smoother than you might think for a gun that sells for under $400. So the capacity on this is 13 plus 1. The weight on this gun unloaded is 23 ounces. The height, and this is with the magazine in it, the height is 4.75 inches. The width on this is 1.45 inches. The barrel length inside is 3.25 with an overall length of 6.5 inches. The slide on this gun is steel and the frame is an alloy. The grip on this is pretty nice, actually. It's textured, it's not super aggressive, but it definitely feels nice. And it also, at least for me, and I think I have pretty average size hands, lets me get all 3 fingers on the gun. There is also a trigger lock. The keys were in the box, but since I am never planning on actually using the trigger lock on this gun, we just left them in the box anyhow. And then there is also a slide release, which is ambidextrous, as well as the safety decocker. That is also ambidextrous. The magazine release, however, is not. That's only built for righties, but you can swap it out and move it over if you would like. There's also some texturing for your fingers when you are firing. That's a nice touch. And the serrations on the slide are really pretty nice. You can get a good grip, and the slide moves relatively easy. Again, we'll just decock this for you. Boom, like that. It does have a small rail with 1 slot if you want to put an accessory on this. The sights on this gun are really nice. And the back dots are slightly smaller than the front dot, but it creates a really nice sight picture for you. The hammer does have some serrations if you want to do single action, right? So that's the other thing. If you were carrying it in a double action position with the safety off, you could manually cock it into single and then fire it that way. So that's another way to carry this gun. There's also a chamber indicator right there, which protrudes to let you know that there is a round in the chamber. So overall, those are the basics of this gun. The sights also, by the way, are SIG sights, so you can replace those with any type of SIG sight that you would like. According to Bersa, the trigger on this, the double action, is 5.5 pounds, so let's test that out right now. And we will try this in double action first. We got 6 pounds, 10 ounces, 10.4 ounces. Six pounds, 13.5 ounces. £6, 7.3 ounces. So it triggers a little bit heavier than it would be indicated in the manual. Let's try single action, see what we get with that. And we get 3 pounds, 15.8 ounces. £2, 9.1 ounces. And for our third pull, 2 pounds, 9.9 ounces. So not bad for the single action on this. Let's take a look at the double action and the smoothness of it. So as you can see, it just it really is a pretty smooth double action. It gets tight towards the end, but again, that could just be because of the angle that I'm holding this at for you guys to see. Let's do a quick reset. And that's it. The reset on this is super short. And there is a little creep. Little bit of creep, but again, not horrible. We'll try that one more time. And you do get the audible click. So we'll do that. Now let's let it go. Ah, look at that. So it does not come forward fully at all. So when it's cocked, it only comes to here. The take up is just that, really small. So that's actually very nice. So we're going to try one more thing. We'll do, just to show that to you again. So when it is cocked, the trigger does not come fully forward. Very, very short take up before you hit the wall. And just very little creep to it. So overall, those are the things that I really loved about this gun, that I thought I would love shooting this gun. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump out to some range footage, and we're gonna kind of see why, even though I thought I loved it at first sight, I actually kind of got something that I wasn't thinking I was gonna get.
You won't answer my calls. You changed your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
So this is Bersa, we should shoot.
9mm, let's just shoot it. That was interesting. Did a double strike. Huh. That is another one. It's misstruck on the first shot, like twice. That's so bizarre. So hopefully it doesn't keep doing that with the light strike. Did it again. Want to see if these jam anymore? Like they should not be. So we'll see. So misfired. So strange that it does that. It's so strange. I've never had a gun malfunction that much. Thank God it's got the double strike capability. And I feel so loose too. Wonder if that's has anything to do with it. Don't know. But see, it didn't go in fully. when it shoots, not bad. Yeah, this. Magazine's very loose in the well.
Is there any tread left on the tires at all? Or at this point, would it be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway?
So, now you know why I was kind of disappointed. The gun shot really well for the most part when it was shooting. But let's face it, you have one job to do, go bang. And when you don't do it, it's bad. And this gun was not going bang like 10% of the time. So the bad news is it didn't go bang 10% of the time. The good news is because the Argentinian police use this, if you're a criminal in Argentina, you have a 10% chance of surviving because you can run away when the cop's gun doesn't work. A silver lining in every cloud, right? So what I did was I reached out to Bersa and let them know that I was getting a lot of light strikes and failure to fire. And they got back to me right away. Their customer service was very prompt. And they told me to get a hold of one of their master gunsmiths, which I did. And he was incredibly helpful and incredibly informative and said to send the gun to him and gave me instructions on how to go about doing that. So I reached out to Bersa only to find out that their lifetime warranty doesn't cover shipping. And I guess I could understand this if the gun had literally not just been like right out of the box. I don't think it's had more than 20 minutes of range time. So when they send me a defective product, brand new right out of the box, I would expect a company to stand behind their product and cover everything, right? So when Smith sends me a bad gun, they send me a label. So I was kind of expecting Bersa to do the same. And by the way, I don't know if it's just me, so please comment on this, but I've noticed a distinct drop in the quality of new guns over the last 5 years or so. And if you've experienced similar situations, please comment and let me know. All right, so there is one other thing that I wanted to comment on and get your feedback on. So this gun, and again, it's still empty. There's no 9mm around, so checked. Okay. The magazine is super loose in the mag well. Like, that's just kind of ridiculous. And I actually wonder if that is perhaps one of the reasons I'm getting misfires. I really don't know. I have zero gunsmithing abilities, but I thought that this seemed strange to me that it was so loose. And I did notice it when I'm gripping it. Outside of that, I really do like the ergonomics of this gun, but it's weird to have this jiggle against my pinky. So please, if you have this problem with your Bersa, let me know. Give us some feedback on it. Again, this could just be a lemon, right? And it happens. So I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. So my final thoughts on the Bersa TPR9c. Again, this gun has a lot of qualities that I personally look for in a gun. The decocker, the safety, the double single action, the capacity. I like a little bit of heft to my gun because it helps with recoil. I love the sights. Really, the problem is, it misfires. So because of that, I would have issues at this point recommending this gun to anyone. And honestly, I would be very reticent to say, go out and buy this gun. There are other options in the market that I think are more reliable than the gun that I got. Now, what I am going to do is we're going to send this gun back to Bersa. We're going to let them fix it. And I have every belief that they will send me back a great functioning gun. At that point, we'll do a couple of hundred rounds through it. and we will do a follow-up review. If the gun works fine, then honestly, maybe I just got a lemon, and it happens, right? So for those of you out there who already have a TPR9 or the TPR9c, I would really love to know if you've had similar experiences, or like I said, if I just got the lemon and they will fix it or replace it and we'll be good to go. But for right now, again, it would unfortunately be a pass on recommending this particular Bersa until I get it back in and see where we stand. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment on all the things that we talked about in this video. Please let me know if you have one of these, what your experience has been, and thanks for watching.